Hi everyone, my name is Pluto, and welcome to another video. Today, I'm going to be commentating a little star in Dj0nk's junk called Torture Test. This is a star that was pretty infamous when, this game was, when people started playing this game because, unlike Star 4 and Star 5, this one seemed completely impossible. That wasn't until Somebro found a skip for the star, which skipped a majority of the Star 3 stuff, and meant that you only have to do the ending. When Somebro was able to get consistent at that ending, he was able to get the star in not too long. Since that was found, I've been more motivated to tackle this, but I wanted to do some other things first, and those other things are almost complete, so I figured, what better time than now to try the star? So, the beginning of the star is going to be pretty derivative of Star 5, as in it's going to be literally Star 5, but there will be some new strategies that you'll see that will make it a little more consistent. The stream where I got the star was actually some of my most consistent gameplay ever. I was able to get to the ending, the thingy, the Star 3 exclusive stuff, a total of 21 times in one stream in less than 4 hours, which is really consistent. Unfortunately, that means that there were 20 attempts that choked. That was excruciating. In that slope section there, I used a different strategy. Not really a different strategy, more so a different camera angle. It just makes it a little more consistent, so that was pretty cool. It made it so I wouldn't die there as much, because I had a session of this beforehand last week that went pretty badly because I just kept dying over and over again to the Star 5 stuff, but I did a practice session and I got a lot of consistency, so I'm pretty happy about that. Coming down to these jumps, it's worth noting that Katse found a skip to, negate this whole section that I'm doing here. I'll throw a clip of it on screen now. I ended up not going for it because I found it a little inconsistent, plus there's an invisible wall you can hit, so I opted to just do intended, which I was decently okay at, so that's why I'm doing intended instead of the cool Katse strat. There's a little more Star 5 left before we can get to Star 3. I quite like the star. I think it has a lot of interesting jumps. I think it flows pretty well. Hundreds here is definitely a question, because I don't know if I'm going to do hundreds here. I think I will, though. It's something that I'm planned after my next grind, which I think now would be a good time to announce that the next grind, Kaizo grind, not like speedrunning or anything else, is going to be Final Tragedy 120 coins, and that will be 180 stars in Dream Edition, so follow my Twitch, I'm going to be streaming that hopefully next weekend, and yeah, that's going to be very exciting. At least I'm excited for it. Here we can see one of the new strategies Somebro found in the Star 5 section. This skips that tricky moving platforms area, and actually makes the star, it makes Star 5 quite a bit easier, and it makes getting here quite a bit easier. And now we can see the actual cheese for the Star 3 path. You can simply long jump down here, and this puts you on top of this huge structure. And now there's only 3 more sections between us and the star. The first one is this little pinwheel section. This section is interesting. It's really intimidating at first, because in normal Mario 64 you never really see obstacles that look like this. The closest thing to this are like elevators and stuff, but those are pretty manageable. These on the other hand are like, they're very erratic. Well, not erratic, they're, continuous, but they're moving at different speeds. Some of them are moving like across. As you can see for the red coin, some of them are rotating on an axis. Well, I guess they're all rotating on an axis, but rotating on an axis that is a little weirder than it should be. But yeah, these are just a really scary obstacle, but there are very deliberate strategies that you can do here to make these very consistent. In the end, in my 21 attempts that got this far, only one of them died to these pinwheels, and it was on this moving one here, because it's very easy to accidentally stutter on the ground, and in this instance, if you stutter in the wrong way, it'll cause Mario to downwarp, which will kill you, because below these pinwheels is all quicksand. It's very easy to get Mario to downwarp in quicksand, unfortunately. Next up we have this thing. There's not really a name for this, so I just opted to call this the White Slope Tower, or just the tower. This is what was originally the hardest part for me, but I ended up getting really consistent at it due to this frame walk strategy. You can see in my hand cam how I move over to my frame walk macro. Frame walk macros might be a little controversial, but keep in mind that in emulator, which is like the predominant way to play ROM hacks, keyboard players would have access to frame walking for free if they play on keyboard, so think of frame walking as just balancing the playing field rather than giving me an unfair advantage. At least that's how I like to see it. Now, I usually try to avoid frame walking because it is a little bit of like an up in the air, like is this fair or not strat, but the reason why I ended up going for it is because the other method, which is kicking up the slope, wasn't very consistent for me, and I didn't really like it at all. I was very uncomfortable with it, and it was pretty frustrating, so I opted to do this frame walk strat. Here I make a pretty devastating mistake. I fall off this slope, but I had built up enough speed that I couldn't land on that pink platform there, so now I'm back at the start of this thing. Pretty unlucky, but what can you do about it? In total, this white tower killed 6 attempts. Yeah. The main thing with this strategy is that you want to be a little careful. You want to make sure that you're not like being too greedy here, and there's a lot of different things you need to look out for. You need to know when you're in a good position to frame walk, when you should like back away, when you shouldn't even try to frame walk, you should just turn around the slope and retry. It's the kind of thing that you just need to practice a bunch and get some experience with and get a feeling for, and then it's not that bad once you get a good understanding of it. I think that's pretty indicative of the fact that I did this accidental reclimb, and this is still the attempt I got it. Unfortunately, means spending a very excessive amount of time on these slopes. Outside of the slope section, I think this attempt is actually pretty fast. It's just that I do this so slowly. Also, please excuse my sniffles. I'm a little sick. I got the star while sick, so forgive me, please. Very tense moment here, climbing this thing. There, that's one of like the situations that you need to look out for. When I jumped over for the next diamond, I didn't have enough speed, so I kind of got like caught on the wall, so I had to back off. Also, as you can see, there's a lot of slope maneuvers in this section. It's important to note that this hack does not patch out the 5-frame window where you cannot jump off a slope. So, if you want to jump off these slopes, you gotta be frame perfect. There is no leeway. Or not frame perfect, but you know, you gotta account for those frames. I don't think there's any frame perfect slope jumps in this stage. Right. Here we actually get on top of this black pyramid, and now we have the star ending. This is what pretty much everyone calls the pyramids. This section is really dumb. All I'll say about this is that this section killed a total of 13 attempts, which was really heartbreaking, and why I sound so exhausted at the end of the grind is because, or at the end of the star, because in a 4-hour session, which was basically all choking from start to end. 3 of the deaths died on the last pyramid that you need to do a slope jump from, and 2 of them died to the very last pyramid where you dive into the star. They both simply did not make the jump. This might seem like the kind of jump that's very self-explanatory, but there's actually a lot of strategies that you can use to, you know, get up these. But I don't know, I unfortunately don't have the time to explain that now, so I'm just gonna end the commentary here and let you appreciate my reaction to the star, and, you know, just enjoy the visual tensity of this jump. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye! Thank God! Oh my God! Ugh.